welcome to my channel. Here for the first time ever, we are going to bring you a Sleepy Time Stories episode featuring none other than the great King Richard the Lionheart. Good. Settle in as we journey back through the mists of time to an age often romanticized in story and song. The Middle Ages. Tonight our destination is the heart of medieval power and protection. The formidable castle Pormini. The castle evokes images of valiant knights, fair maidens, and grand banquets. But beyond these romantic notions lies a world of rough-hewn realities, surprising challenges, and the intricate daily lives of countless individuals. For 2 whole hours, we will gently peel back the layers of stone in time to uncover what it was truly like to live within these imposing walls. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting long shadows across the ramparts, it's time to begin our exploration. We start with a commoner preparing for bed, tucking his family into their meager quarters within the castle walls. Life here was far from the privilege enjoyed by the nobility. While the lord and his knights slept in relative luxury, the commoners, servants, and laborers shared cramped, dark rooms, often with more than one family to a space. Despite the lack of comfort, there was a sense of community among the commoners. They gathered in the evenings to share stories, play simple games, and find solace in each other's company. The flickering light of oil lamps provided the only illumination, casting dancing shadows that added a touch of magic to their simple gatherings. The night deepened. A young apprentice, having completed his daily chores, climbed into bed with his family, dreamed of a better life filled his head. He dreamed of becoming a master craftsman, a baker, perhaps, renowned throughout the kingdom for his delicious bread. His wife, a gifted seamstress, dreamed of owning her own shop. A place where she could create beautiful garments without the constraints of working for the castle's tailor. Together, they dreamed of a life beyond the castle walls, a life of independence and prosperity. Meanwhile, in a far grander chamber, the castle's lord lay ready for bed. Unlike the commoners, his room was spacious and richly decorated. Tapestries adorned the walls, depicting scenes of valor and conquest. A heavy velvet curtain served as a backdrop to his bed, piled high with pillows and blankets. Servants had already retired for the night, leaving the lord to his solitude. He sat alone, a book in his hands, his face illuminated by the warm glow of a nearby fireplace. The crackling fire and the soft light combined to create a sense of cozy isolation. A feeling that would become all too familiar during the long winter nights. As the hours passed, the lord's thoughts turned to his kingdom. He pondered the challenges that lay ahead, the threats from neighboring lords and the ever-present worry of rebellion. A heavy sigh escaped his lips. The weight of his responsibilities, the burden of leading his people, the pressure of maintaining his dynasty, all of it pressed down on him like a physical weight. In this moment of quiet reflection, the Grand Lord felt not just the solitude of his position, but the profound weariness that came with it. And so we end our journey through the castle at this still point in the night. The roaring fire has dwindled to glowing embers, mirroring the dying embers of a day. Outside, the wind whispers tales of ages, passed through the crevices of the ancient stone. Within these walls, dreams are spun, hopes are held, and destinies are forged in the fires of ambition and duty. As the night deepens, we leave the castle to its slumber, hoping that in these hushed hours, it finds the peace it so richly deserves. The end. We are going to pretend you didn't hear any of that, and you were born into nobility. You waken your solar to the warming glow of dawn seeping through stained glass windows depicting scenes from the Bible or classic myth. Outside, the spires of the castle pierce the sky. Kuh! A silent testament to human ambition and the dominion of man over the natural world. You stretch, the fine linen sheets pooling around you, cool and smooth beneath your fingertips. Today is a good day to be alive. Cue your chamber, though sparsely furnished by modern standards, is designed for your comfort. Could a large bed, though without the luxury of a mattress, take center stage. Cool. A small table sits beside it, holding a mirror, a comb, and a silver ewer for carrying water. Sunlight streams through the window, illuminating motes dancing in the air and casting long shadows across the stone floor. God, after donning your finest garments, perhaps a velvet doublet or a gown of rich brocade, you descend to the great hall for the day's first meal. The great hearth roars, a comforting presence amidst the vast expanse of the hall. Your place at the high table is your domain. From here, you can survey your realm, watching the flickering interplay of light and shadow as figures move below. Could. As the lord of your castle, your day is structured around the responsibilities of your station. There are royal decrees to issue, lands to survey, and justice to dispense. Your decisions affect not just your household, but the lives of all within your domain. Though the concept of human rights as we know it is millennia away, you do possess a sense of justice and fairness. Or at least, you strive to uphold it within the bounds of the feudal system that defines your world. Your castle is your heartland, a microcosm of the world that you strive to order. Within these four walls, you seek to maintain a balance of power. Could, between nobles, vassals, and the common folk, you endeavor to ensure that laws are followed, that fealty is maintained, and that the wheels of society turn smoothly. In the grand tapestry of medieval life, you are a weaver of destinies, albeit within the confines of a rigid social order. Though, life is not without its pleasures. Tournaments are held, celebrating martial prowess and chivalric ideals, jousting knights clad in shining armor, their lances splintering on impact. Beneath your watchful gaze, the thrill of the chase echoes through ancient forests as hunts take place, not just for sport, but to ensure the bounty of the land. Good. The crack of the whip, the baying of hounds, and the clash of antlers all contribute to the drama of the chase. And when night falls, casting long fingers of darkness across the land, the castle comes alive in a different way. Torches flicker, casting dancing shadows on the stone walls. As the great hall fills with music and merriment, here, beneath the watchful eyes of gargoyles perched high above, you feast with your knights and retainers. The clink of tankards, the murmur of conversation, and the murmur of lute strings fill the air. Boova! Precious moment. You are not a lord, not a king, but simply a reveler, lost in the joy of the present. Could. The worries of governance momentarily forgotten. Cut. Yet even in revelry, there is a structure to your existence. Could. Each movement, each interaction is a calculated step in maintaining the intricate dance of courtly life. Even laughter carries a measure of strategy. For in this world, one does not merely laugh. Could. One laughs in a manner befitting one's station. As the evening deepens, the conversations turn serious. Tales of daring exploits, whispered plots, and distant lands form the backdrop of nocturnal discourse. Alliances are forged, rivalries reignited, and secrets shared over flagons of mead. The weight of the world may seem distant in the glow of candlelight, but it never truly departs. For you are its custodian, charged with its upkeep. The hours pass, measured by the dwindling flames and the growing shadows. Good. The revelry slowly ebbs, leaving behind a sense of camaraderie and the echo of laughter. As the night deepens, you retire to your chambers, your mind still abuzz with the day's events. Gah! The fire sputters, its warmth fading into the vast emptiness of the night. Good. Soon, sleep will claim you, and with it, the promise of another dawn. Gah! The cycle will begin anew, and with it, the endless machinations of medieval life. The challenges of governance, the intrigue of the court, the thrill of the hunt, and the solace of companionship will intertwine to form the rich, complex tapestry of your existence. Within the towering embrace of the castle walls, could you navigate this world, a world of duty, honor, and the ceaseless pursuit of order and justice. Big. In the grand tapestry of medieval life, there existed an art form that wove together the ethereal beauty of stained glass with the stories of saints and the symbolism of faith. Stained glass windows, those vibrant narratives, in color adorning countless medieval churches and cathedrals, played a pivotal role in a world where literacy was limited. They served as both a Bible and a picture book for a largely illiterate populace, narrating biblical tales and the lives of Christian martyrs in vivid detail. Our journey today takes us into the very heart of this artistic tradition to meet two individuals whose names might not echo through history, but whose skill and devotion left an indelible mark on their world. They are the anonymous craftsmen of medieval stained glass, working not in the grand workshops of Paris or the renowned studios of Cologne, but right here in the heart of England. Gay these men toiled in obscurity, their names lost to time, yet their legacy lives on in the very windows they adorned. Could imagine the scene? A small workshop nestled in a quiet corner of a bustling medieval town. Sunlight streams through small windows, illuminating a space filled with the tools of their trade. Glass cutters, metal implements for leading the glass, and kilns used for the firing process stand as silent witnesses to their craft. The air is filled with the rhythmic clink of glass on glass, as these anonymous artisans carefully cut and shaped. Each piece with precision. Dear hands, calloused yet steady, move with a grace born from years of practice and an unwavering focus. But what exactly did these medieval craftsmen do? The answer lies in the very essence of stained glass. They crafted what we today call stained glass windows. But in the Middle Ages, these were more than just architectural embellishments. They were integral parts of the church, serving both aesthetic and didactic purposes. These windows often depicted scenes from the Bible, stories carefully selected to impart religious teachings to a congregation largely unable to read. Thus, these craftsmen were not merely artisans, they were visual storytellers. Each pane of glass they placed was a brushstroke and a giant masterpiece, narrating the Word of God. Their work was not a solitary endeavor. They worked in collaboration with others. Sometimes a design would come from an artist or a member of the clergy. Other times, the craftsmen themselves might have added their own creative touches. It was a collaborative effort, a fusion of artistry and devotion. And when a window was completed, it was not just a product, it was a testament to their shared skill and faith. These windows were not created in a vacuum. They were deeply embedded in the social and religious context of their time during the medieval period. The construction of grand cathedrals was a source of civic pride and a demonstration of a town's wealth and piety. Many prominent families commissioned windows as a way to display their piety or even gain some measure of immortality by having their portraits included in the scenes. Thus, these craftsmen were not just creating works of art, they were participating in a cultural and religious exchange that bound their town, their church, and their patrons together. The life of these anonymous craftsmen was not easy. Working conditions were often harsh, and the pay was modest. Yet, they toiled on, driven by a sense of purpose and the satisfaction that their work brought not just to them, but to their community. Their dedication is evident in the windows themselves, in the vibrant colors they used, the intricate details they carved, and the stories they chose to tell. As we stand before these ancient windows, marveling at their beauty and contemplating the lives of those who crafted them, we are reminded of the power of art to transcend time. These anonymous craftsmen may be unknown by name, but their legacy lives on in every shard of glass, in every stroke of color. They are the unseen hands that brought life to stone, and in doing so, enriched our understanding of the medieval world and our own humanity. Join me in the comments as we continue our exploration of the medieval world. What aspects of medieval life intrigue you the most? And how do you think advancements in technology have shaped our understanding of history? Your thoughts matter, and together we can keep this journey through time engaging and enlightening. Till next time, keep asking questions, keep seeking answers, and keep exploring the captivating world of our ancestors. Thank you for watching. From the creation of illuminated manuscripts, a world away from the creation of illuminated manuscripts. A world away from the clamor of the castle courtyard or the political halls, we now drift towards a more serene and introspective corner of the medieval world. The creation of illuminated men, these are not mere books. They are exquisite works of art, meticulously crafted by hand, brimming with vibrant colors, shimmering gold, and often hidden meanings. They represent a profound blend of faith, artistry, and immense patience. A world away from the clamor of the castle courtyard or the political halls. Imagine the quiet solitude of a monastic scriptorium, a specialized room, often cold and sparsely lit, dedicated solely to the painstaking work of copying and decorating texts. This was where the magic happened. Slowly, deliberately, over weeks, months, or even years. Scribes, often monks or nuns, worked in silence, their quills scratching softly against the prepared parchment. For the vellum. This wasn't paper. Good. It was animal skin, usually calf, sheep, or goat, painstakingly prepared. Imagine the process. The skin was cleaned, stretched taut on a frame, scraped meticulously with a curved blade to remove all flesh and hair, then smoothed with pumice until it became incredibly thin, supple, and pure white. Each page was a testament to hours of preparatory labor, providing a durable, smooth surface for the ink and pigments. Next came the writing. Scribes would meticulously copy the text, often religious scriptures, scientific or classical works, using iron gall ink, a deep black or brown liquid. The consistency of the hand, the careful formation of each letter, was a work of profound discipline. Imagine the steady rhythm of the quill, the careful measuring of lines, the absolute focus required to avoid error. A single mistake could mean hours of painstaking correction, or, in extreme cases, the entire sheet of vellum had to be discarded. Then came the illumination itself, the process that gives these manuscripts their name. This was the work of the illuminator, an artist often distinct from the scribe. Their palette was a marvel of natural chemistry. Colors were ground by hand from minerals, plants, and even insects. Imagine the rich blue of lapis lazuli, imported at great cost from Afghanistan, painstakingly ground into a fine pigment. Or the brilliant red from cinnabar, or greens from malachite, or yellows from ochre. Each pigment had to be prepared with precision. Mixed with binders like egg yolk or gum arabic to create paints that adhered perfectly to the vellum. The most captivating element, and indeed, the source of the term illumination, was the use of gold and silver leaf. Could. This wasn't merely paint. It was a delicate, impossibly thin sheet of real metal. D. Artists would first apply a raised gesso base, often made from plaster and glue, to the parchment. Once dry, the gold leaf would be laid meticulously over this sticky surface, then burnished with an agate stone to create a dazzling, reflective sheen. Imagine the glint of candlelight catching on these gilded pages, truly illuminating the text and images. This precious metal elevated the manuscript from a mere book to a sacred object. Could. A thing of profound beauty and spiritual significance. The imagery within these manuscripts is rich with symbolism and storytelling. Kive, from intricate border designs populated by fantastical beasts and everyday scenes too large. Vibrant miniature paintings depicting biblical narratives or historical events. Every element was carefully considered. They offer us a fascinating window into the medieval mind, their understanding of the world, their spiritual beliefs, their sense of humor, and even their scientific knowledge. We can see images of farmers toiling, knights battling, saints performing miracles, and abstract patterns that mesmerize the eye. Many of these manuscripts hold subtle mysteries. A small marginal drawing might depict a whimsical creature or a grumpy monk, offering a glimpse of the individual humor or frustrations of the artist. The choice of specific colors or symbols could convey layers of meaning understood only by a contemporary audience. Could. And sometimes, the very process of their creation, the faint outlines of sketches beneath the paint, the tiny corrections, the fingerprints left behind, Bafa, intimate connection to the hands that brought them into being. The preservation of these treasures over centuries is itself a marvel. Many survived fires, wars, and neglect, whispering their stories to us across the expanse of time. To hold an illuminated manuscript, or even to view its digitized pages, is to connect with a profound human endeavor. Cut! A testament to dedication, artistry, and the enduring power of knowledge and belief. It is a quiet beauty that invites contemplation and peaceful reflection. Medieval life? A lord's existence so far. We have explored the diligent work of the castle servant and the painstaking artistry of the manuscript Now! Let us complete our immersion into the medieval castle by stepping into the world of its most powerful inhabitant, the medieval lord, Gis. This is a life defined by immense responsibility, significant power, coup, and a peculiar blend of grandeur and underlying isolation, a stark contrast to the common lives we have previously contemplated. Imagine yourself as the lord of a great castle in, say, 14th century England or France. Your days begin not with chores, but with the weighty duties of governance and defense. Q. You awaken in your private chambers, often located high within the safest part of the keep. While not luxurious by modern standards, your room offers more warmth and privacy than any other in the castle. Fine woolen tapestries might adorn the walls, providing insulation and a splash of color, perhaps depicting scenes of hunting or chivalry. Gah! Your morning would likely involve councils with your most trusted retainers, knights and stewards. You discuss the management of your vast estates, the collection of rents and feudal dues from your tenants, bond, and the dispensing of justice in your manorial court. Imagine the steady flow of petitioners, tenants with grievances or knights seeking your favor. Coup. You are the ultimate authority, the arbiter of disputes, and the protector of your people. This is a role demanding a keen understanding of law, tradition, and human nature. The decisions you make affect countless lives. From the poorest peasant to the wealthiest merchant in your domain, much of your time is dedicated to ensuring the security of your lands. K. The castle, after all, is a fortress, a symbol of your military might. Gu. You oversee the training of your men-at-arms, inspect the defenses, and ensure that your stores of food and weapons are sufficient to withstand a siege. While the image of a knight in shining armor is often romanticized, the reality of medieval warfare was grim. You must always be prepared for conflict, whether against rival lords, raiding parties, or the forces of a discontented king. This constant readiness imbues your life with a subtle tension, a perpetual state of preparedness. Midday might involve an inspection of your lands, a hunting expedition, or perhaps overseeing a new construction project. Your movements are often accompanied by a retinue of armed men, a visible symbol of your power and a necessary precaution in a world where brigandage and sudden attacks were not uncommon. Again, the rhythm of your life is cyclical, tied to the seasons of agriculture, warfare, and religious festivals. Good, the most celebrated aspect of a lord's life and a central social event was the feast in the Great Hall. Could imagine the scene. A roaring fire in the central hearth, filling the vast space with warmth and light. Long wooden tables groan under the weight of roasted meats, fresh bread, and fine wine. Good! You, the Lord, sit at the high table, perhaps on a raised dais, a position of honor and command. Minstrels might play music. Jesters might offer entertainments, and the hall would echo with boisterous conversation and laughter. These feasts were not just for sustenance. They were vital expressions of hospitality, generosity, and a demonstration of your wealth and status to your household, your vassals, and any visiting dignitaries. Kid, despite the grandeur, there was an inherent isolation in the life of a medieval lord. Your position set you apart from everyone else. True intimacy could be rare, as every relationship was colored by feudal obligations, political alliances, and social hierarchy. The weight of responsibility, the constant need to assert authority, and the pervasive threat of rebellion or invasion could create a profound sense of solitude at the very top of the social pyramid. Even within the bustling castle, the lord often stood alone in the magnitude of his decisions. Compared to the servant, whose life was one of physical toil and communal living, the lord enjoyed immense privilege and comfort, albeit within the confines of medieval capabilities. They commanded resources, enjoyed diverse cuisine, and their education was often extensive. Their power was virtually absolute within their domain, dictating the lives of hundreds, if not thousands, of people. Yet, this power came with a heavy burden of responsibility for justice, protection, and provision. A burden largely invisible to those whose lives they governed. As the day deepens into night and the feasting concludes, the lord retires to his private chambers. The sounds of the castle gradually quieten, leaving only the distant hoot of an owl or the whisper of the wind against the stone walls. In the stillness, the weight of the day, the challenges of governance, and the perpetual vigilance for the security of his domain settle upon him. This distinct blend of opulence and obligation define the life at the pinnacle of medieval society. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more immersive historical tales.